So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them into the Q&A panel on the right-hand side. So the agenda for today is we're joined by 5 technical partners who will be able to give us some insights into the different technologies they can provide you, powered through our AWIN master tag. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Jake from Smarterclick.
Great, thanks Amy. Hi all, thanks for joining today. I'll try to keep this nice and short. So to introduce myself, my name is Jake and I'm the head of partnerships here at Smarterclick. And now the company was founded around 7 years ago and I've been here for just over 5 of those, so have certainly plenty of experience in this field. Now during that time we've won numerous awards for our work, including both national and international awards in the affiliate industry led PMAs. Now as for what we actually do, sorry Amy, can you just jump ahead? Yeah, thank you. Now as for what we actually do, you can see in the timeline there some of those awards that we collect. That's what we do. So we're specialists in conversion rate optimization and have several tools which can hopefully do exactly that, which is improve your website's conversion rate and consequently overall number of sales. Now our flagship product, which I'll briefly run you through today, is our overlay tool. Next slide, please. So in a nutshell, this tool would target users who go to abandon your website having either A, not made a purchase, or B, taken an action that you'd like from them, for example, capturing an email address. So as you can see from the animation here, we work entirely via exit intent. There can sometimes be confusion that we're simply a pop-up as such, whereby, this appears to all of your users and kind of triggers immediately and is kind of in their face after landing on the page, but that's really not the case. We're not here to target users who would have purchased regardless of seeing such a campaign, and we're not here to any way interrupt the user experience in a negative way, but simply to only target those users who are abandoning under criteria set by you. One main difference between us and simpler off-the-shelf solutions or plugins, for example, even those that do also run on exit intent, is that rather having just a one-fits-all approach of, oh, someone's leaving, let's just show something, what we tend to do is focus more to that user and make sure we show a campaign that's relevant to that individual user as possible. For example, say someone's abandoning from a shoes page, then it makes absolutely no sense to advertise a campaign offering 5% off shirts. Now we can target users based on whether they are new, existing. We can identify what traffic source they've come from, what stage or pages of the website they're abandoning from. If it's from the checkout, perhaps, then we can identify what basket value is there, what products are in there, and again, then show something that's not only relevant to them, but also in line with what you're looking to achieve. Be that just more sales, perhaps, or new user acquisition, increasing average order value, upselling, or more. One thing I will say is that if you was to run a campaign with us, this isn't the case of kind of one campaign, that's it. We have a kind of a team here to kind of provide suggestions to you. Of course, as an initial proof of concept, you'd want to make sure we're working well for you, but we do also have our own kind of set of metrics and KPIs, such as, is the user engagement rate there? Essentially, is it working? Are your users receptive to it? Is the conversion rate there? And essentially, we continually adapt until we get something that's working well for you. Next slide, please. So here you can see a few examples of campaigns you're able to run, such as putting in a user's name in the personalization example there, again, making it relevant to them so we don't tend to go for a generic approach. We can do A/B testing to see which offer works best. So for example, we could have, say, 50% of relevant users see campaign A, 50% see campaign B, with the difference being maybe a different call to action, a different creative, or a different offer entirely, until, as I mentioned previously, we get something that's working best for you. We can also create a sense of urgency, as you can see in the countdown timer, and there's also a lot more we can do. So you can see here we're not limited to kind of the standard campaigns that you tend to see, such just a 10% off purchase or capturing email address, for example, which we can of course do, which again can work well if done right. Next slide, please. So should you wish to trial something with us, integration is fairly straightforward. So instructions, of course, I can send if relevant to you, but most of you should be able to integrate via kind of the AWIN tag you already have in place, which kind of covers that side of it, which is typically the most lengthy part. We work entirely on a performance CPA basis. using the standard CPA rate you already have set up within your affiliate program. So there's no monthly fees, there's no integration fees as such. We don't require an increase to your commission. It's entirely as you'd pay any other affiliate that you're currently working with. Also, we don't enforce any contracts. And lastly, we have an in-house design team to take care of all the campaign creative, again, and no charge to you. So whilst I guess this is, of course, a tool as such, it's also more in that we're essentially a service. So we can do the designs for you. We have an account management team. So be under no illusions, this is not a self-service platform. It is fully managed. Thanks so much for listening. And of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end.
Thanks, Jake. Next, we have Evolve. Peter, I think you've got your, sorry, Dan, I think you've got your mic muted.
Sorry about that, guys. Hi there. My name's Dan Harding. I'm head of business development here at Envolve Technology. And today I'm here to introduce you to our virtual shopping assistant that we've created at Envolve Technology. So to give you an idea as to why our technology exists and why we're in this space, what we found through the early phase of our research into the project of developing this technology, this AI-powered technology, was actually that about 60% of customers landing on your site who are asking queries, those queries are actually missed sales opportunities, whether they come through your customer services email address, or whether they're sent through, if you're running on site already, a live chat channel. So what we designed at Envolve was a virtual shopping assistant to take that in-store experience and bring it online. And with more and more people shopping online following the current situation, it's about being there to listen to your customers and to help convert them when they're on site. If you can just skip along for me, please, Amy. Cheers. Thank you. Next slide, please. Cheers. So yeah, this is a bit of a visualization of our virtual shopping assistant and how it sits on site. So you're seeing an example here of Little Mistress, one of the fashion retailers that we're running with via Awin and their master tag. You can see the virtual shopping assistant sitting there in the bottom right-hand corner of the site. Next slide, please. I should mention this, what you're seeing here is our trigger message. So it's not a pop-up, it's not going to invade the user journey at any point. It is simply a message to tell customers that the technology is there to assist them in their pre or post-sale shopping experience with you as a brand. We know, again, through our research, that customers, they're lazy. They're not going to trawl through FAQ page on site to find answers they're looking for. They're going to bother you guys with it, or worst case scenario, if they can't find fast answers, they're going to bounce. And then obviously, we all know it's harder to bring that traffic back to the site. So our technology is all about helping you convert that valuable site traffic, and on average at the moment we're helping the brands we work with convert an extra 5 to 8% of site visitors into online sales. So yeah, having a big impact on that conversion rate, and in best case scenarios helping them boost their average order value by around 15%. And I'll come on to how we do that, how the technology works in a deeper detail on the next slide, please, Amy. Thanks. So as you can see here, customer enters the virtual shopping assistant. They click on the widget icon. They're greeted with a welcome message. We then got a guide of the types of questions that the customer can ask the technology to give them and to manage their expectation at that entry point into the solution. If you click along, please, Amy, thanks. So you've got a customer here. The AI is deciphering between, what is a customer service question and when a customer is showing some form of buyer intent. And then it's responding accordingly based on what we've trained the AI to be able to answer. So Amy, if you just hit return here, we'll have the customer ask for, they're showing buyer intent there. And we're going to respond, or the AI is going to respond with an answer and a product recommendation. So if you hit to the next slide, Amy, you should get that user flow. So customer there talking about a wedding dress, come back with a response. We've got option there to route the customer to the most relevant section of the site. So in this case, we can take them to the shop dresses section. But then we're also using your product feed. We're pulling in real-time product recommendations into the conversation, and you've got that carousel there that the customer can search through. And this here is what's helping us boost average order value further and help us convert more sales for you guys as a business. So if you just skip along to the next slide, Amy. So you've got the carousel there making the product recommendations, and you've got the links there to click to buy. At this point, I probably want to just touch upon the commercial model. So like Smarterclick, it's strictly performance based. There's no upfront cost, no monthly subscription, no contract. Everything is tracked based on your standard rate CPA. And we're only able to drop a cookie to then earn a commission when a customer's clicked on a shop, as you can see there, the shop dresses button or the shop now button in the product carousel. We're not dropping a cookie every time someone engages with the widget or every time someone asks a question or a customer asks a question. It's only when they take on board our advice and recommendation do we have that opportunity to drop a cookie. And we're running a soft cookie policy via our technology across AWIN. So you're not going to be paying a double commission for those other publishers who are driving the traffic to your site through site. So yeah, if you could skip along, please, Amy. Thanks. So here you can see us landing on the product page. Customers click through, and then we're going to hopefully go through to add to the basket. Next slide, please, Amy. Yeah, if you click along. So here's a question around customer service. So this is where we're going to help support your CS team. So our technology is helping the whole e-commerce side of the business. So we're supporting your CS team by reducing the amount of top level queries that are sent through to your customer services department. But we're also able to support both sales and marketing, and in this case, the affiliate line, by helping you convert more sales via the channel. So this is a customer here. Standard sort of CS question they're asking. Amy, if you just hit return, we'll then get the response from the customer where the AI will answer the question. If it doesn't know the question, then we've got two options. If you're running live via Zendesk, Intercom, or Talk2, for example, we plug your live chat provider into our virtual shopping assistant, and we'll seamlessly hand over to a member of your team via live chat. If you don't have the capacity and you don't run live chat on site, we have a built-in email handover form that's triggered, and then that is packaged up and sent over to your customer services department. So if you just hit return for me, Amy, we should get the handover message here. Oh, sorry, I think you might have skipped through. There you are. So you've got the contact us option there. Customer clicks on contact us, and then they can then send a message through to your support team. If you skip on through to the next slide, please, Amy. This looks at the handover piece. So you've got an integration example here with a Zendesk, and you can see the live chat support on the left pulling through in one option, one view via iframe, and then you've got full integration on the right where you don't have the iframe existing. Thanks, Amy. If you can go to the next slide for me. So yeah, just to cut through the benefits, the top line stats. So we're there to help you boost your conversion rate on site, help you boost your average order value at the same time. But from a customer service perspective, again, we're there to also support both pre and post sale queries, and we're running that support automatically 24/7 by training our AI on a set number of questions. And to start with, we build that knowledge base using your FAQs and information that can be found on site. And then that goes into the AI knowledge base. Sorry, next slide, Amy. Thanks. So yeah, here's an example of some of the guys that we're working with, of course, working through AWIN. Some of our live clients there highlighted. We're live with just over 50 clients, both here in the UK and in the US now. So the business is continuing to grow as we onboard new businesses and new brands. Next slide, please, Amy. Yeah, and this is just a highlight. Unfortunately, we're new to the affiliate space. I've only been in the space for probably just over a year now. We're yet to win an award, but hopefully this year through the PMAs. But we were shortlisted for a few awards this year, which was great. So hopefully next year we can take some home. And yeah, setup is very straightforward. All we need to do is join your affiliate program, and then we can get the rest of the information through AWIN. And it takes our team at Involve about 2 weeks to get something built before we come to then deploying, and we can simply deploy using the AWIN master tag. So very simple. So yeah, that should be everything from me. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Dan. Next we have Cerato, and Peter's going to run us through their solutions.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. I'm Peter. I'm the CEO of Cerato, and I'll give you a brief introduction of our product and the way it works. Next slide, please. So Cerato is a social referral technology, and essentially we leverage your existing customers to win new ones. We enable through our technology existing customers to share an offer with their friends and family through any social media channel or also WhatsApp. We were founded in 2018. We currently have over 150 clients running our technology in 7 countries. We obviously work extensively with Awin, and we've got a number of clients including Samsung, H&M, Superdrug. Retail is obviously our kind of primary sector, but we do also work in utilities, travel, energy as well. And we were lucky enough to win the best performance marketing technology at last year's PMAs, which was some nice validation for the product. Next slide, and I'll show you briefly how it works. So the first thing to note is that our technology is primarily post-purchase, so we don't interfere with the original customer journey at all. So typically what would happen is you would make a purchase on a site. In this case, the example is New Look. On the confirmation straight thank you page, we would show a customizable lightbox, which would essentially encourage your existing customer to share with their friends and family via Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or Pinterest. All of this process is totally customizable. We can make it fully brand compliant, so that's absolutely fine. So the customer would then share to social media, and again, you can see an example of that there. At the point that they share, we send them a thank you email, which would either contain their reward, or if the reward was conditional on a friend making a purchase or a subscription, whatever it may be, we would explain what would happen next for that customer. So from an existing customer, it's really quite straightforward. We're encouraging them to share on social media or messaging. So if we look at it on the next slide, we can see it from Chloe, who's our friend in this example. So hopefully she would be scrolling through a social feed, or perhaps in a WhatsApp group. She would see that post or that message. Typically we would tie an offer to that customer. So very commonly it's 10%, 15, 20% off. Chloe would see her friend's post, she would click through via our landing page and then continue to purchase on New Look again as a new purchase. So again, relatively straightforward. And on the next page, we look at why you would do this, if you probably can't guess already. So first of all, you're incentivizing the repeat purchase from your existing customer, as well as building loyalty with them. You're obviously utilizing your existing customer base to promote your brand to their friends and family, which is a low-cost CPA-based payment mechanism. Plus, obviously, all of the research from the social media network shows that you're much more likely to engage in a post from your friend than you are from paid content. So having your existing customers promote you on social media is a real positive. In terms of the incentive, obviously, we can do vouchers, we can do discounts, but we also have gift cards fully integrated into our platform as well. So lots of benefits in terms of using the platform. Next slide, please. So why referral marketing? Obviously, it's pretty much widely considered to be the best form of marketing. I think social media and technology have really enabled that to scale, but all of the research shows that a referred customer will spend more, is more likely to refer the brand themselves, and we generally trust referrals from our friends and family. So huge benefit in terms of setting up a referral marketing scheme and get your customers to shout about your brand or product to their friends and family. Next slide. Again, I think everybody sees the continued march of social commerce. It's the stats have just continued to rise in terms of customers using e-commerce, social media for e-com discovery or reviews. So it's really important that you have your customers promote your brand, and I think that supplements your existing social media strategy. But great KPIs in terms of e-commerce and the effect that it has. And then last but not least, just to say a few points about the commercials here. As with most of the kind of technologies on this presentation, there's no real setup fee, there's no long-term tie-ins. We work on a performance basis. Only typically that's your standard CPA. We take care of all of the onboarding, so the assets that you would need to set up a refer a friend scheme, we would create for you. Obviously you would have full sign off on that, and if you didn't like the Facebook image, we could swap that out, but we would work with you to make sure it's brand compliant, and you would have ongoing support from our client services team. So it's a managed service, and we would help you from start to finish. We would also advise on any rewards that you may want to offer, and the technology has full split testing, so we can play around to get the best results for you. If in doubt, please reach out to the team. We do have real life demos that we can take you through that show it in action on retailer sites, and that's the best way to see the technology and ask any questions that you may have. So thanks for your time, and that's a quick whistle-stop tour of Cerato.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Amy.
So up next, we have Infinity, and Alex is just going to talk you through their proposition.
Morning, everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks to the guys who have preceded me. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about Infinity. So if you just jump onto the next slide, please. So what we are is a call tracking company. So a lot of the time, calls are sort of an oversight. So everything these days is about all the online transactions, but a lot of retailers, most companies in travel, utilities, etc., will have a phone number on their site as well, which is where their customers can get in touch with them and transact with them through that mean as well. And it's really important to have that full data set. So all your tracking will be in place for all your online conversions, but there's this kind of black hole of data, and this data blind spot where phone calls are concerned. And actually phone calls generally convert 5 times higher than on-site traffic. So whereas on-site traffic will do well to convert from sort of 2 to 3% as a global average, the phone converts between 10 to 15% on average as well. So, and usually the average order value of people who phone is much higher than people that transact online. So we believe that there's this huge this huge pool of really valuable customers that aren't being optimized towards, and that's the kind of gap that Infinity is here to plug. If you just jump onto the next slide for me, please. So the way in which Infinity works is that it sends a call event through the AWIN master tag, looking at the AWIN click ID, much in the way an online transaction does, and we'll send that data back into AWIN so you can see how many online transactions you've had, but also how many phone calls you've had from your affiliate activity. But we don't just stop there. We integrate with the likes of Google, we integrate with the likes of Facebook, Adobe. So anywhere you can pass your online data, we can plug our phone data into there as well. And what that means is it gives you that confidence to optimize in all your channels. You're then not missing all these conversions, so you don't have that reduced clarity on how things are working to improve return on investment. Can you jump to the next slide, please? So yeah, in terms of closing the loop of the data, next slide again, just to kind of give you a bit of a visual of what that'll be at the moment. So you can see at the moment we have that acquisition channel on the left-hand side, and for your online conversions, whether that be a transaction, a form fill, or a live chat, that'll be the action that's going through, and that'll be then funneling into your CRM system, and you'll have possibly a retention program to try and retarget those customers, much in the way you'll be doing at the moment. But we do have that big question mark there. And if you jump to the next slide, please, this is the gap that you can see that Infinity plugs there in terms of the phone call. So you've got that offline conversion that is then being passed into all the other acquisition channels. And as you can see down the bottom, there's a few of the different platforms that we send our data into, whether that be the full suite of analytics, whether that be Salesforce, all the Google products, AWIN, Facebook, as I've gone through previously. I think it's just really the tagline I would try and give to someone trying to understand what Infinity does is that it allows you to track calls just like clicks. So it removes that guesswork and gives you that full, complete overview of where everything is coming from. And and really allows you to measure effectively. And as we all know as marketers, if you can measure everything accurately and effectively, it allows you to optimize and make solid plans going forward about where to put your budget. And what I would say to you is that, you might be advertising on certain publishers because that's where your online transactions are coming from, but actually they might not be the best publishers for you, because the others may be driving a lot of these high value phone calls, which is where some of your higher average order values are coming from. But without call tracking, you're not able to see that, you're not able to measure it. Therefore, it is a blind spot and something that thankfully can be rectified. If you just jump onto the next slide, please. So just to kind of give you an idea, this is an idea from Google, but it works exactly in the same way from Awin. So someone would click on an ad, transit to your site. They would then search around, navigate around the site. They would then find a phone number. And once that phone number is dialed, we can track that entire visitor journey back. We can show you every touch point they've had with your site, every channel they've been on. So as we know, customer journeys aren't as linear as we'd like them to be. Sometimes someone will convert on their, fourth or fifth visit to the site and may have come through various different paid media channels, whether that be paid search, whether that be affiliate, whether that be social, for example. We can tie that entire journey back together and make sure that each channel is getting the credit that it deserves. Next slide, please. Just to kind of show you some of the partners we're trusted by. So naturally, we're trusted by Awin, we're their preferred call tracking partner, but we work with all the top major digital and media networks and all, I think we have 350 different agency partners that we work with, and we help them give you the clarity and also help them understand how much of their media is making an impact on your bottom line, and therefore allow them to optimize to drive more of the right kind of behavior. And then just to kind of jump onto the next couple of slides to show you some of the clients that we work with. We work with about 1,500 clients across the globe. So we're live in 75 different countries, but our main areas are the UK, America, and Spain. And we can actually deploy in over 200 countries worldwide. It's just depending on where the customers are. So, we are endorsed by Google this year. We were also made a Facebook marketing partner. And as I said earlier, we are Awin's preferred call tracking supplier. And we recently won the SaaS Company of the Year at the UK Tech Business Awards, which was, a huge thing for us just on our 10th birthday. And we are a growing force in the market. We're now Europe's leading call tracking provider, and we work with businesses of all sizes. So you can see some pretty big names on there, but we work with clients that are spending a couple of £100 a month to a couple of £100,000 a month, and even further. So anywhere on the spectrum that you might find yourself, if you have a phone number on your website, it should be being tracked, because if it's not, then you have this blind spot. So if anyone wants to reach out, please shoot me an email. You can see, I think if you go to the next slide, it might pop up my contact details. If not, there we go. I'm sure you can grab them from Awin. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate your time, and I hope to hear from some of you very soon.
Thank you, Alex. And last but not least, we've got Lauren from Redbrain.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, everybody. I'm here to speak about Redbrain's CSS, which stands for Comparison Shopping Service. So we're a company based, we have an office in Birmingham and head office in Surrey, and we're here to work with retailers and help them grow and just deliver more online sales. We're here to support what they're already running. We're not here to take over. And in terms of our products, we offer website activity, which we run across Europe, US, and the UK. We offer Google CSS, which is currently only live across the UK and EU, and then a Microsoft shopping service, formerly known as Bing, which is currently live in the UK, US, Germany, France, Netherlands, and Italy. And then just a little stat of what we're able to achieve. So on any given day, we generate over 100 million impressions and 1.5 million clicks, whilst contributing 1.5 million in e-commerce revenue. Next slide, please, Amy. So CSS, as I said, stands for Comparison Shopping Service. It allows us to promote a retailer's products in the Google Shopping carousel. And as I said, we are here to support, so we'll never increase your CPCs. There's still a lot of reticence where CSS is concerned. and we're just here to kind of answer any questions and let you know that we don't tie anybody in, so they can opt into our CSS and see how it works for them. We don't, there's no exclusivity. We upfront the cost of the clicks, so we'll pay for every single click, and the retailer will only ever pay us a commission when we generate a sale. So we're upfronting the risk, so to say, and the retailer will only ever pay us when we generate them a sale. We're flexible, so we can negative match brand names, or if there's particular products you don't wish us to show for, we don't have to show for those at all. Next slide, please. Just reiterating what I just said, so there's no upfront costs. We'll only earn a commission when we generate a sale. There's no setup fees or anything like this. It's a fully managed service, so we'll kind of watch what we're doing. We'll manage all the traffic and things like this. We'll optimize the campaigns ourselves. And it's great if you can give us any insights as to what's working well for you guys, or if there's any products you want us to push, we can look at kind of optimizing those through our campaigns. We are here to offer you incremental sales, so it runs alongside your own activity. And it all tracks through AWIN too, so you're able to kind of watch what's happening yourself, and we can set up additional reporting. So Data Studio reporting, so then you've got a little bit more insight and transparency as to what we're doing. Next slide, please. A few of the brand names that we're working with. So eBay, we do a lot with eBay annually, and then we've just got a few different retailers, Misguided and Cotton Traders, that we've done well with. Next slide, please. So as I said, the main concern surrounding CSS is that we're going to increase the retailers' CPCs. It's not just me saying that we won't. Google have also published their own articles. And then we've also, Redbrain, published a myth busting guide. So that would be great. That if anybody has their own concerns, just get in touch and I can share our myth busting guide and explain more how and why that we won't increase your own CPCs. Next slide, please. So CSS isn't available to all services, and that's a limitation of Google. So we aren't able to run it for travel retailers or insurance. So it really does just work for retailers who sell a physical product that someone can purchase online and have shipped to their door. So then we've just got a few different categories there that it works for. Next slide, please. As I said, we're live across Europe and the UK with CSS. So if you sell products that can, if you are a UK brand, but you sell products that can be shipped to Germany or France, for example, we can also set up campaigns to target those geos. And again, it'll all track through AWIN, so you'll be able to monitor it all. Next slide, please. How easy is it to set up? So it really is quite simple. All that we need is access to your affiliate program, because we can only work with retailers through affiliate networks. And then we need a product feed, as it's how we integrate your products into our system. And as I said earlier, we're completely flexible. So if you didn't want us to run across your whole product feed, you could perhaps simply share with us categories or products you're happy for us to run with. And that's fine. Again, just manage it through the product feed, or we can negative match things our side, supposing everything is categorized correctly. And then we need, if you've previously opted us out through your own merchant center, then you would need to opt us back in. But again, we can discuss these steps as we're getting integrated and set up. Next slide, please. And then just a few stats of things that we've done and retailers that we've worked with. So we have a book retailer that we've done really quite well over 2019 to 2020 in fashion and technology. The technology store actually is a great example, because the increase between Q3 to Q4 was simply over 12 days over Black Friday. And that was off the back of a commission increase. So if a retailer ever wants us to optimize performance as well, they can often offer us a commission increase, which will then reflect against our spend and activities. So we can look to do more off the back of one of those. Next slide, please. And then just another little case study of someone that we've worked with ever since, well, ever from the beginning, Misguided. We work quite closely with those and we're in regular contact. So that's another thing. We're always at the end of a phone call or on the back of an email. So we like to think that no one will ever have issues getting hold of us. But next slide, please. That's it. Redbrain CSS in a nutshell.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
So that's everyone. We'll just leave we'll just have a few more minutes just in case anybody has any questions. So if you want to pop them in the chat, and we'll answer them for you. But hopefully that's given you some more insight on how you can utilize technical partners to enhance your affiliate program. Yep, so we'll just leave it for a few more minutes, and if you've got any questions, please just pop them in and the moderators will answer them in the chat. So we've not had any more questions for you come through, so I'm going to leave this webinar here. So thank you very much everyone for joining, and thank you for our guest speakers. If you have any questions that you want to pop over, then please feel free to email Hannah. She's given her email in the Q&A section. So